I love
Yes.
it. Okay. So what do you do with that, Jamelin, when you're then having regular life, but you're having this space of remembrance and home and bliss? So what does that look like to you implementing, like kind of allowing them to merge or yourself to rise within the now?
Yes. So as of today, I can say that the transformation is so significant. Like I can't unknow what I know now from AQE, from Acasma, from you. I can't not remember it. Like there's no going backwards. And it is infused in every aspect of my life, whether it's the way I process my experience in this now. Am I judging myself? What space am I choosing to be? How I parent a teenage son, how I support an elderly mother, how I interact basically with friends and family. It is absolutely core to my being. And so there is there's no distinction anymore. I think over time, as my expansion grew, I understood like I call it my Acasma fluency.
Mm.
I'm getting better at, uh, implementing on the spot versus really having to kind of redirect my focus, over here or something. So I'm doing much better with it just flowing. I'm allowing my flow. So
Mm.
it's impossible. It's just impossible not to implement. I mean, it's an awakening at such a level that um, I I can't go back to what I know and what I've seen and what I've felt.
Mm.
It's a huge transformation.
I love that. Thank you for that. Hello, Holy One.
Hello.
Hello, hello, hello. Oh my goodness. I'm so excited.
Thank you.
Oh my goodness. This is our first time here together, just us, isn't it?
Mhm.
Oh my goodness. All right, so we're just going to breathe for a minute. We're just going to allow, just be in the space together. Yes. Oh, yes, absolutely beautiful. Oh my goodness. Oh, I'm so grateful for you, Holy One. In so many ways, you're just so trippy cool.
I love Trippy Cool, and I love the way Anthony presented it and said you're cool and you're pretty trippy. So
Yeah, I know. I love that.
it
That
was
was
perfect.
awesome. That was awesome.
Perfect. Yeah.
That was cool. So right off the bat, I just want to make sure, is it Jamie Lynn? Jamie, what is the name that you like?
Um, it's, my name is Jamelyn, which
Oh,
is my
Jamelin.
James and my mother Lynn.
Okay.
Because people can't pronounce it correctly, I usually go by Jamie.
Okay.
But just recently I've gone by Jamelyn again. And
Oh,
so
I
I'm owning
love.
that again. So yeah.
Oh, I love
Yeah.
that. Jamelin,
Yes.
that is beautiful and unique. It's a
Yes.
uniqueness to it.
My grandmother made it up.
Oh,
Put the two names together.
that's beautiful. And then there's also that connection to the family and the
Yes.
connection of the names themselves. And my daughter's name is Jamie. So I like that connection point for us as well. So that's fun. But all right. So Jamelin. Oh, that's
Yes.
beautiful. I
Thank you.
love it. Uh, and we can just keep moving and we're just going to create this space to be, yeah, whatever is most beneficial for all. How about that? Do we
Yes.
allow that? Do we
Yes.
intend that?
Uh-huh.
Okay. So, right off the bat, I'd love to just say thank you for agreeing. most people respond the same way. Anthony responded the same way. You responded the same way. Most people respond the same way. When I ask, they say, "Oh, I don't know if I want to do a video for
Right,
YouTube."
right.
But but you know, you guys have been so awesome to like lean in and to
Mhm.
trust me and to trust the space and to trust yourselves and to just allow. And I think I'm gentle. Am I gentle?
Yeah, oh, very much. Very, very much. Yes. I mean, I love the videos. Like I get so much out of listening to Trudy's videos and Anthony's video recently and Kirsten's. There's so much. But the minute you asked me, I was like, I don't know.
And you know, I thought that might be something we could talk about because I think everybody relates to that. And what is it? Because really, it's a representation of all the spaces of us where we say, I don't know, right? Because there's a
Yes.
lot of different, ooh, I don't know moments, you know. And so, I mean, we have a lot we could talk about. You're a wealth of vibrant, expansive joy. But so you are in the AQE Foundations course. Let's talk about how you got here to begin with, because people love to know that. How did you find my work, me, Acasma Quantum Energy?
I was on a road trip. It was last May and listening, trying to find YouTube videos, and the algorithm that I had up, or I think what I was looking for was light language. So I have listened to others speak their light language for years now. I always said it's something I would like to remember. Um, but I was looking for light language. And at the time, I was prepping for a Reiki training. And so, for whatever the reason, whatever I was looking for, your video came up. And it might have been a short on your light language. And I was like, instantly, like, just drawn. Well, let me listen to that again. You know how you can listen to it again and again, and let me listen to that again. And then I think the first video that I listened to you start to finish was the May healing grid, the grid of
Okay.
light.
Yeah.
And I was floored. And I was like, what just happened? And I don't know, something just beautiful came over me. I felt very safe. I felt very comfortable. I felt very at home. I felt seen, even though you couldn't see me, if that makes sense. You know, like I was home, but I didn't know. And honestly, I didn't understand most of what you were saying. I really didn't. Like, I have so much reverence for my understanding expanding
Mm,
because it truly is every day new. But until you get that,
mhm.
you can't really appreciate it. And
Yeah.
it's like you would say something and I'd write it down and I'd go, well, that's a weird statement to say. What does that even mean? Like, this space is because of you and you are. I'm like, well, I am what? What am I? You know,
I love that.
I I
No, I love it. And you know, it kind of makes me giggle and think of like Yoda from like Star
yes,
Wars and how he speaks
100%.
in these, you know, ways. And I think maybe you would be the best to ask because you're the one coming right through the experiential space of it. Because I don't put thought into let me say this phrase or let me, you know, I'm very present and whatever I'm saying is just coming through to be what would be most optimal, right? Uh, and I have had my daughter, she works with me, she's like 25, 26. She says to me many times over the years, maybe you need to word this differently. You know, you talk in a vague way and you say things that some people, they probably don't understand what you're saying. So it's not something I'm oblivious to or I'm unaware of, but it's something I understand. There's information
Mm-hmm.
in the way the words are placed and in the way the brain even processes them. Even if it doesn't understand what it's processing, it's still working on it.
Yes.
That something's opening up, you know, something's unlocking in the human to assist the eternalness to rise inside that human, the remembrance of the divine. So I am so yeah, I'm so grateful and excited to see so many people like you who lean in and trust when they don't understand what they're leaning into or what they're trusting. You know, that's huge. That's huge. So from your perspective, navigating that, would it be safe to say there's somehow some type of knowing inside of you that's pinging you in some way to be like, this is the right space. You may not understand it. You may not completely uh yeah, understand or comprehend it at the level you want to yet, but at the same time, it resonates.
Absolutely. Whether it's knowing, that intuition, or a nudge, or felt like a bug to a light. I was just like drawn to it, and it was light. You are light, and I'm drawn to that, right? And it's this, and it feels nothing but whole and beautiful and good and blissful and authentic. I Yeah, I would be doing myself a tremendous disservice if I didn't follow that nudge, if I didn't follow that knowing, if I didn't know that I know I need to be here.
Thank you for that. Thank you for that. And I really believe the people that know they're supposed to be here are the ones that are hearing it. And then, like you said early on, we're expanding every day, every breath, we're changing. So we have new people coming in because they're kind of dialing in, vibrationally clicking into a space of themselves where they can hear that come home, remember who you are, allow.
Yeah.
Now let's go here because I know a lot of people would want to hear this space. So what do you do with that, Jane? Say your name for me one more time.
Jamelin?
Jamelin. I love
Yes.
it. Okay. So what do you do with that, Jamelin, when you're then having regular life, but you're having this space of remembrance and home and bliss? So what does that look like to you implementing, like kind of allowing them to merge or yourself to rise within the now?
Yes. So as of today, I can say that the transformation is so significant. Like, I can't unknow what I know now from AQE, from Acasma, from you. I can't not remember it. Like, there's no going backwards. And it is infused in every aspect of my life, whether it's the way I process my experience in this now. Am I judging myself? What space am I choosing to be? How I parent a teenage son, how I support an elderly mother, how I interact basically with friends and family. It is absolutely core to my being. And so there is there's no distinction anymore. I think over time, as my expansion grew, I understood, like, I call it my Acasma fluency. I'm getting better at, implementing on the spot versus really having to kind of redirect my focus, over here or something. So I'm doing much better with it just flowing. I'm allowing my flow. So it's impossible. It's just impossible not to implement. I mean, it's an awakening at such a level that I I can't go back to what I know and what I've seen and what I've felt. It's a huge transformation.
I love that. Thank you for that. And that really backs up and confirms what we speak on with a cosmic quantum energy being an ascension assistance modality, space of consciousness, connection point of our higher selves, if you will, in the now. And that we're no longer compartmentalizing, which I think you were speaking that so well, that we used to kind of live one way when we were in church, one way when we were at the kids at the school, one way when we were at work, one way when we're in our room at night watching TV or whatever it is. We were all these different spaces of ourselves. But now it's like we're really implementing and tapping into the divine spaces of our being given the opportunity to be available in all spaces of us, no more boxing ourselves up. So I really feel that coming through in your words as well. Now, I love this space where um, you have sent me so many beautiful emails, and you are the funniest person I have ever met, and I love humor, and I'm so grateful for your humor. You are an excellent writer. I already told you, I think you're going to write a
Yes.
book or two. You're an excellent conveyor of sharing information in such a way that just we're intrigued by your words, and we're blessed by your words. You uplift, you encourage, you inspire. So thank you for that. But you've shared so many experiences where that whole thing we say about how it's not happening to us, it's happening for us. Whatever we're experiencing, we've designed. It has a purpose, it has a meaning, and leaning into that trust level and that space of understanding of ourselves allows us to remain in that space of divine flow and divine power that we are as self-masters of our spaces and our nows. So you've designed quite some interesting spaces of activation of that, remembrance of that. I shared one in a class last week or so, or maybe a week before, but and you've had others as well. The last one was kind of big in the sense that it involved other people. It wasn't like just your own individual, space of expansion, but other people were involved, other people's schedules and your family. And from, I'm not going to keep talking too long because I'd love your share on it, but there was a point I noticed in your email as you were sharing the experience with me. There was a point where you realized this wasn't just you that it was affecting, the way that you were processing,
Mhm.
and you realized it was affecting your family and everybody else. And so for me, reading your email, that was like a click moment. That was like a wait a minute, I want to make
Mhm.
sure I'm coming from my mastery. I want to make sure I'm coming from my divinity and not allowing the experience to hold more power than I have. Would
Mhm.
I be safe in saying that was a moment for you when you really,
Yes.
okay.
Absolutely. I would
Okay.
say that before I crossed paths with you, one of my personal mantras was always take the high road,
Okay.
always take the high road. And
Okay.
that worked for me for a lifetime until the past year. But
Okay.
what that infers is that something maybe stressful happens, and I want to take the high road, but that doesn't mean I'm not resentful about it. That
Mm,
doesn't mean I'm not being true to myself. Like, I never realized the gap in that. Like, I really held that as one of my personal spaces. And now, because of what I'm learning through the AQE Foundation's course, we're really pre course, but I can't, it's coming up soon. But what I'm learning is that that lesson that you said, I designed it for myself. What message am I trying to hear? So, as miserable as the space may feel in that moment, I could put on a happy face and take the high road and do what is right, and then later blow up at my family. That's
mm,
not working, and there was something off there. And
mm,
so now, when I can look at the situation and go, hold on, wait, I brought this to myself. What do I need from this? What can I learn from this? Like, here's your choice moment, Jamie. Make it, choose which way you want to go.
mm,
And it's like, I don't want to be the spaces that I've always been. I want to show up and be different. Like, I am here. Jamelin is here in a different way than I've been my whole life. And that to me is you gave me my power, but not in an egoic way.
mm,
You gave my power back to me. You offered it. You laid it at my feet.
mm,
And that to me is so empowering. So I totally, totally, totally agree. You are
Mm.
the bridge, the light. You lead people. You are brilliant, and you do it masterfully. And I'm delighted that I'm one of them. But it's so beautiful. And I just want to make sure, like at first, when I would hear like the divinity or your divine essence, I would feel a little bit like, ooh, who me? Or, I don't need that much out of this. I felt like a little bit much. But as my understanding is growing, it's not about the ego. It's about my essence, my truth, who I am. And that every day is opening up and blossoming for me better and better.
Mm. I love that. I love that. Thank you so much. Bridge came up in Anthony's call as well. That was something he mentioned, and he didn't, because you're right, we're in the pre-course space, so we haven't even started the core yet, which is phenomenal how much everybody's already
Yeah.
expanding and moving, but that's how this works and happens and unfolds. But when I mentioned, yes, I'm the bridge, and he said, oh, no, you're more than that. You're more than that. You don't misunderstand me. But the teachings of Acasma is as we allow ourselves to return to ourselves in that essence, in that divine flow that is an eternal being who's having a now, we become bridges for all. Like you're a bridge, I'm a bridge. We're all, that once you remember who you are, you have the strength, if you will, yeah, to be something someone else could then find their way back to themselves through. Does that make sense in a way?
Absolutely.
And
Yes.
so I love that you brought that in. And then yeah, so also this implementation point is it's so huge, because a lot of times, and I myself was this as well for a very long time, and I don't think there's anything wrong with where we were. We just vibrationally weren't here yet.
Mhm.
We're in a
Yes.
different place. Like we
Yeah.
understand ourselves and the world around us differently now. But for a long time, we learned things, and we had the books, and we had the tapes and the videos and the
Mhm.
CDs, and we had all the stuff from all the courses and all the understandings and all
Bought
the
them all.
spaces. And we maybe would take little pieces of it that would be able to stick, but it wasn't like massive transformation, like an entirely new reflection, which is what I call the world around you. It's your reflection. So this is what I'm seeing with Acasma, and it came out in 2020. And now, we're I'm doing this once a year as a live course. But we're seeing people sign up, lean in, trust spaces and phrases that they're really not sure of how that thing goes yet, but they feel it. They can feel it before which is awesome, because that's your essence, right?
Mhm.
But at the same time, they're witnessing and experiencing the implementation point of it, if you will, being available
Yes.
in a way in which they've never experienced it before. And I'm feeling anchoring going on just while we're talking. So I read energy, this as well, but I read the energy of the people I'm with and the people that are watching. So to all of you who are watching us on YouTube, right now, the anchoring is going on in your body of this understanding, and our ability to then be these bridges for ourselves and for others without having any preconceived idea of what anybody has to do with it. That's huge.
Yes.
We do not need to know what people do with this, but if everyone could take a breath right now, nice and slow, nice and deep. Yeah, there's a really big opening going on in the body, in the vessel, in the root lines. Yeah, to anchor this. Yeah, at a new level. That means all of us who are already in this alignment, we are moving into a new space of ourselves. Yes, yes, yes. And all who are coming in the door, if you will, to this space of themselves, they are going to be able to anchor faster, expand deeper, because of that which we are implementing right now, right here in the field. We are the field, you know, all of us. We are spaces of this eternal flow of consciousness that is ever expanding as it remembers who it is. And it explores itself, and it creates, and it expands. So allow a breath again, please. Nice and slow, nice and deep. There you go. Beautiful. The energy center at the base of the torso is expanding right now. Your root center, all of us. And the root lines are going deeper. This is a grounding space to assist the energies that are running in the form. Jama Lynn and I are blessing this space with you now. If you would just allow your breath. Yes. Just allow the space. Yes. Just allow the space. Yes. Yes. Yane yakaoaye. This is light language. This is the languages of the universe. This is the languages of the soul. This is speaking in tongues. This is beyond being named. Yes, and identified. Just simply allow the breath for a moment, please. Yene yasokoa, tene yakoeya, iya saotoa, nene yawa oto, kia sakoto konea, iya potoa, nea kaoa, ha, nea kaoa, nea kaoa. Just allow the breath. Beautiful anchoring, mouth of God, mouth of the I Am, expanding again in the back, the base of the skull. Yes. Breathing, please. Yes, thank you. Yes. Just allow the space. Yes. Just allow the space. Beautifully done, holy ones. Beautifully done. Every word we speak holds an energetic vibration, an alignment, a connection point. When we speak, we are also directing our focus, you know, on that which we are speaking. And energy begins to move and align and connect with the field and the spaces of alignment that reflect that which we are speaking. So this is what happens many times as the energies in the vessel start to move in accordance with what we're talking about, what we're focusing on. Yes. And so when we have call spaces like this, we allow the energetic shift spaces as well. So thank you for all of you for leaning in and allowing that space. And just allowing a breath as we're bringing the focus back to continue our glorious conversation. I never know where those spaces are going to pop in, but I just allow and I just trust. So anyone watching this video, you can also return to that space of the energy there. That's very helpful for if you feel ungrounded. So it was a very deep rooting, anchoring, balancing space that we were in, and we are. But sometimes the world, the reflection, can get our attention. And when it gets our attention a little bit more than what we may like, we start to feel that, you know, alignment we've made with that focus we've placed on that worry or fear or whatever it is. And the body starts to let us know, hey, I'm ungrounded. Hey, I'm out of alignment. Hey, I need peace and balance, you know. So you can return to that clip. Yes, there are others available on the site, but that's a good one. That's a good one. Yeah. So just allow that thought as well. Okay, now, Jamie Lynn, let's talk about allow. I love the word allow. So we use that word a lot in the Acasma family of light and in the course and all this, you know, the new human classes. Allow. And I've talked about it before, but what does allow mean to you now? That's a big one, but let's see what you want to do with it. Just from your heart, what does allow mean to you?
That's got a lot of color and texture to it now. Um, so allow, I think, goes hand in hand with trust and trusting that I'm exactly where I need to be and I have everything I need right now. Knowing that my vibration will be new next,
I love that.
right? But
Yeah.
knowing that right now, this is perfect
Oh, I love
and I'm exactly where I need to be. Allowing is a flow state.
it.
Allowing isn't, well, I'm going to let you do this right now. Or no, allow is safe, clear boundaries, but also in that I direct my space, my focus. It does not direct me. But that is so empowering. I allow is so important to me. I think this little, I don't know if you could see it.
Oh my God, I love it. That is so awesome. Oh my gosh.
Because
And we didn't plan this ahead of time. I didn't say
no,
I'm going to ask you about allow. Oh my
no, you
goodness.
didn't. But
Oh,
you
that's
didn't, but
fantastic.
I'm not
Okay.
surprised. Again, one of the many, but yeah.
Yeah. So read us each one of those. Allow and then A. What do you have?
A is anchor.
Okay.
So anchor, whether it's anchor into your heart, anchor into your wholeness. Um, L, let go of judgment, let go of expectation, let go of how this is going to go. L, the other second L is lean in and trust yourself.
Oh, I'm just excited about this. This is so beautiful. Okay, keep going.
O is observe. And that observe, I think it's really my gut reaction before Cosmo to think of observe was observing others. But now I have this new dimension that observership involves observing myself.
Oh, yes.
And that is like a whole nother dynamic that just wasn't on my radar. And then the W, although I have plenty of like beautiful words that could fit like wholeness, I just land at what would a Cosma do? WWAD. What would Andrea do? Because when I ask myself that, I get out of my frenzy, I get out of the stress. I go, oh, I have a choice. I am going to make that choice. It's
Mm,
my choice to make.
I love
And
that.
that is very empowering and very different than, well, I'm sorry I blew up at everybody. I was having a stressful day and, you would have too if you were in my situation. Like all of that is very, very real.
Mhm.
But what is also very real is that I can show up differently in a way that engages peace that passes all understanding. That is, when I participated in that class in September, mind just blown. And I cannot tell you how much this helped me navigate
Mm,
those ultra stressful moments with my loved ones.
mm.
Whether it's saying to a teenager for the fifth time, will you pick up your clothes? Like, how do I engage peace that passes understanding when I feel like a broken record? Like, I don't
Mm.
understand, but absolutely. And I have been absolutely more present in my parenting. I have allowed space for where he's at,
Mm.
not where I think he should be right now. And that's big.
It's huge. That is
Yeah,
huge. And that's
it
across
is.
the board for every relationship we have, right? If we can implement and come from that alignment, we release all the connections of um, denser playouts that are available to happen. We
Yes.
kind of release those alignments because we're allowing the flow space alignments where there's the opportunity for shift, there's the opportunity for growth on our part, growth on their part, love on all parts. Oh, I might have to have you teach on allow one day in a class. This is good stuff. Oh my gosh. This is fantastic. I've never had anybody take it and break down the letters for specific words or reference points. That's awesome. I love this. I really love this.
Like my toolbox, right? And when I'm in the moment, when I need to allow the most is when I'm like, I can't find any of my tools, I don't remember any of them. And so these were just like ways for me to connect in that moment, whether I use all of them or one of them. It literally gives me a reset and I can choose. And I also allow that if I choose that old density, I allow that
Yeah.
because I wasn't ready for the new space.
Good
And I
for you.
allow and acknowledge and say, maybe next time. And
Beautiful.
that too, like that release of all the judgment of what I think about myself or others, or it's so freeing. It is absolutely so freeing. You can't unknow and undo this. It affects every thought, every idea, every belief, every action, every intention, every behavior, every relationship. Like it just, it's the umbrella. It goes over everything. And it layers beautifully on whatever your spiritual beliefs are, or whatever your personal cultural beliefs are, or all of that. But this is like literally a one size fits all. But
I
in
love that.
in
I
a
love that.
divine, beautiful, in your way. You'll do you
Yes.
in your way, but it's like, I don't know, like I want to talk about it all the time. I even said to our beloved Quantum Kate, like, hey, are there any Acasma geeks out there? Can I like get deep into this? Like, because it's so profound for me. It is so
Mm,
profound. It has caused me to do very clear acts of kindness that were maybe above and beyond I would have normally have done. It has also caused me to pause
mm,
and just breathe in the moments when that made such a difference for myself and whomever I might have been interacting with.
mm.
And I feel like I'm, I like being around myself more.
That's awesome. Yeah,
So yeah,
that's the key. That's the key.
yeah.
And honestly, seriously, we've heard before people will say, until we love ourselves, it's hard for anyone
Mm,
else to really love us or for us to at least receive that love in that way, that purity of that type of connection and liking yourself, wanting to be around yourself or be with yourself, and then moving into loving yourself and being your biggest cheerleader and support system. And I mean, we're never not with us.
right.
This is who we have through the whole thing, first breath to last in this lifetime. There's others that will be there, maybe for the majority, maybe for good spaces of that, but we definitely are there for ourselves. And to be able to fall in love and connect with yourself at such a level where we can be these alignments of grace and
Mm,
mercy and peace and compassion,
yes.
it's incredibly healing to all the spaces of the being, because most humans, if not all, are experiencing some space of dis-ease, whether they've got some type of physical ailment, emotional ailment, mental spaces, and or just like aches and pains in general, or whatever's going on in the body, in the mind, in the emotions, is connected directly to the energy. It's connected directly to the way in which we see ourselves and the world around us. Yeah. And the beliefs we hold, the energy inside of that. And so when you start to like you, you start to heal you, because it's all connected. So I love that part. That's really beautiful. Thank you for feeling into that and sharing that with us as well. So the peace one, I love that you brought that in. Last September, we did a series, New Human class I teach on Patreon platform, but that was the month I decided to teach every single weekend.
Yes.
and
Hmm.
and and it was all about like a journey of, I forget, something about discovery or remembrance or something, but it was the peace that passes all understanding. It's a different kind of peace. We're not at peace because the world around us is peaceful at the time. Life is grand, but we're at peace, period,
Yes.
in all spaces, and how to really be that type of peace. So I love that was of a benefit. It's been a while since I've looked at those classes and or heard anybody's feedback. So thank you for bringing that in. That's blessed me to hear that. So thank you. And you're coming to Destin.
Yes.
I am so
I
excited.
know.
So that's just so exciting. And that was a thing you made a choice on as well. That
Yes. I had to lean in. I just remember making very conscious choices about all things Acasma along the way. And I was considering doing the AQE Foundations course. And I distinctly remember a conversation with a loved one of mine and saying, well, I want to do this. And their inquiry was, okay, so why? What are you going to do with it? Like, are you going to teach or facilitate? Are you going to do this stuff with it? And it was like, no. Why would you do it? I'm like, because I want it. I want what's available for me. And then I think it was within that week on some YouTube video you posted, there was confirmation of that because you said, do it for you first. And I was like, yes, that is exactly why. And so then I go, how can I not invest this in myself, like my own self daily peace of mind? Like, when our mind goes, and we're talking to ourselves, we have all this self talk and stuff like that. It's not like I want to hit the mute button on myself anymore. you know, you're like, oh, let me put on the headphones and get away from everybody else, but I can't get away from me, right? Like, oh, you should be in this body.
that is
It's
so
tough.
well said. That is so well said.
It can be a lot. I can be a lot. I know
We can all
this.
be a lot to ourselves. Like, think
Well, that,
that's absolute across the board. Everyone's had that space or spaces where you're just like, I wish I could shut this off, or I wish I could turn
yes,
it down, you know?
right.
So,
Or even whether it's the the banter, the chatter, the opinion of, am I doing this right? Am I not? Like engaging peace that passes all understanding is such a different lens to experience life. And where it has come up most recently, I would say in the last 6 months, is political conversations. Being engaging that piece has changed those conversations in the most beautiful way, where I'm leaning in with curiosity. And that is absolutely new for me. And that's
beautiful.
beautiful.
Yeah, and that's huge. That's huge because
Yes.
we've seen the divisiveness and what it's done to
Yes.
families and friends, and it's really really hard. And I'm think, I remember a time when politics wasn't like that. I mean, you just had different opinions and you voted for different things, and it wasn't so intense. It feels
Right.
intense, you know? So the peace that passes all understanding available to all spaces, but especially I believe that's why this is an ascension modality, because, and you said so well, you can't go back to what you were before. You understand these new spaces of yourself, and they're not outside of you, they are you. And then you also can't stop the progression of this. So it's like all of humanity and all of consciousness is ascending, all at different increments or, you know, amounts. And then when we have spaces who are of consciousness of the collective of groups of people like us and many others on the planet who are anchoring these understandings of peace that passes all understanding and implementing them in everyday life spaces, now that is available to the entire collective. That peace that passes all understanding is emanating, vibrating, pulsing through the field at a greater level because more spaces of consciousness are choosing to be it. Does that make sense?
Yes, and it didn't for a very long time.
Okay.
But now I feel that desire and ownership
Mm.
to hold that space so the collective can move. So I would say before I would have been like, I'm staying in my lane. I can only worry about me, right? I'm doing everything I can, but I'm getting it. That's expanding. That's opening up more and more my understanding. of that from the collective, and I'm excited versus I'm not burdened by it.
Good.
Or
Yeah,
you,
that's
you know,
huge.
it's a
That's
very
huge.
different perspective. And
Yeah.
it's like, I get to be a part of this. What a privilege.
I love
Like,
that.
oh
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't tell you how many times when I'm on the pods, so on our Discord channel, when
Yes.
I first got on there, I mean, I was like, what is this about? Like, this is, I was trying to figure it out. And you can't go back in time. Wherever you come in is where you come in. And once I got a little bit of an understanding of how we were talking amongst each other, I mean, first of all, that community has been tremendous because that's my tribe,
Good.
my
Yeah.
tribe. Those are my people. That's my
Yeah.
tribe. And so, um, regardless of how we ebb and flow out of it, it is a constant. It is very important in my journey and will remain that way. And
Mhm.
I have gotten so much out of it because it's like nobody else in my life can understand me.
Mhm.
But my family, my Acasma family can, and they're there. And they've been through that, they've walked the walk, they've talked the talk, they have done the path, and they have felt like, oh, nobody gets me. And the pod has closed that gap for me. Like, I can't say that anymore. I think not everybody gets me, but there's more people out there that get me than I would have said before.
Mhm.
And I can't tell you how many times I wanted to post on the pod to go, why are we not talking about how big this is? Is anybody I'm like, hello, people. Why? What? Hello. And then I think it was Gregory in the 5-year celebration party, when he just was like, this is huge. This is huge. And I was like, amen. Yes, yes. This is so big. Let's blow that up because this is so big. So, yes, it is remarkable and beautiful. And yeah, it's pretty special.
So, anyone listening, thank you, thank you, thank you for being this space, bringing this up with the pods. That's available to anyone listening right now. So, if you're resonating with what we're talking about and you're like, I would really love to have people that get me with spiritual understanding and being this space of ever expanding consciousness, having a now, we work with a Cosmic Quantum Energy, what we've been talking about this whole time, and it is here to assist Ascension. And we hold a grid space, we call it grid space. Once a month, we get on Zoom together, and then we're that grid of light, if you will, with every breath, with every step, with how we live our lives. We're not perfect, we don't have to be, but we are the embodiment of the I am in the human form. And so, yes, we have the Acosma grid, and then we have the Acosma pods of light, which is what Jamelin is speaking about. That is the community we offer to support the beautiful grid members who give of themselves to be this, intend this space of connection of higher consciousness in the now, this grid. So it's fantastic. I mean, I know it's my thing and I built it and everything, but I'm not alone. I'm not the only reason why it exists. It wouldn't exist if I was. It exists because of Quantum Kate, Janet Kate, that you spoke of, which is your leader of the Beacons of Love pod. And then we have Holly, who leads the Eternal Light Within pod, where Gregory is the ambassador. And then we also have the Sacred Joy pod of light, which is led by Kirsten, and Barbie is an ambassador over there. So, um, these women and men are giving of their time freely to be this space, to get in there and encourage and uplift and inspire and teach about a cosmic quantum energy here and there. It moves fast. It's a chat space, so it moves fast, and people will come in and share pictures from where they've been on a walk and seen a glorious sight, or they've, had a funny thing happen, or maybe even a space that felt heavy and they need a little bit of a remember who you are moment. We get less and less of that in there, but it happens, and we are there to support everyone. Uh, but it's available for free. So we just want everyone to have this ability to hear the call of their heart, reminding them how to find their way home. So we're like we have one pod called the Beacons of Love, but really the whole thing is like a massive beacon. It's a massive, for me, like pulse of the wave of love calling out to all that are ready to hear and feel and lean in and trust and remember who they are and why they're here. And this space offers that. So if you'd like to join, you can go to my website, sacredexpansion.com, and there's a button you can, on the grid page, there's a button, or I think even on the homepage, there's a join the community. So it's very easy to do. I love that this closed the gap, she said. Jamelin said, closed the gap on coming from the mindset of not many people or nobody in my life gets this the way I get it or sees it the way I see it. So that's not even available anymore in her vibration, in her flow. But that's because, in my humble opinion, and there's a lot of other reasons I'm sure as well, but one of them is you moved into a vibrational alignment of yourself where you were allowing the expansiveness of yourself, which then created a reflection that said, this is how expansive you are. Look at where you are, look at who you are, and look at what's around you. Does that make sense to you?
Yes. And that is a constant message from the pod is somebody may share something and the response is, look at this glorious confirmation you brought yourself. And I would have never taken that perspective or that angle if somebody in the pod hadn't prompted it, whether it's my situation or I'm reading about somebody else's. Like, there is so much there, but it's all about the confirmations we bring ourselves and those milestones and markers of our own expansion. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I don't have awesome psychedelic visions, and I'm not clairaudient, and I don't have that. And I'm really waiting for my light language. I'm ready for that to come in, but I don't have that. But what I do have are confirmations of how I am being in this now, and understanding that I'm choosing to be different, that I am directing my space, that I am here to help myself. That is a tool worth having, and that is priceless. And that is, everybody can use that.
I
I
love
show up to help myself. I'm not looking for anybody else to rescue me or to, throw me a lifeline. I'm not looking to be victim this or that. I mean, we all have our stories. I've got a few really good, juicy ones. We all do. But when I can be this space to help myself, that's the gift that keeps giving.
I love that. Yeah, that's powerful. And you mentioned this earlier, and it goes with this thought as well. Uh, it doesn't matter what religion you are, what culture, what background, what belief structure. And we teach that in Acasma when we get into the core spaces, which we start in about 2 weeks, I think. But one of the phrases we use is Acasma meets everyone right where they're at.
Yes.
And so that's every belief structure, every personal belief about yourself, the world around you. And it's interesting because we also learn in Acasma, facilitating self work, the energy sessions, Cosmo Quantum energy sessions for the self. And then you can learn to do it for others. Like I think your husband might have been implying, or whoever your loved one was that you were talking to, and they said, are you going to end up doing this? Are you going to do sessions and all this? And that's an option you have, right? But self first, because you cannot give what you don't have. And so this is really beautiful healing for the self-love spaces, self-worth spaces, self-remembrance spaces. And Cosmo meeting everyone right where they're at, it allows that to be also moving at a rate that moves with you. So some people might move what could seem like super fast, and some people might move in a way where they wish they were moving faster, but like they're hanging in there. I've had people take the course for probably 3 or 4 years in a row now, and they've made progress, but not as much as they wanted to make right off the bat, but they didn't give up. And in that, I find so much inspiration, and just like I respect them so greatly because they were making progress. But you hear these stories, and I think you were kind of touching on that a little bit when you said you don't have the sight and all that, because we do have people in the group that do, and they write
Yes.
about it, and they write about seeing dragons, and they write about seeing other worlds, and like all these really trippy, cool spaces, right? And then we have some people reading that might, I've had them write me privately and say, is something wrong with me?
Yes.
When will I see like that? When will
Yes.
I feel these things and knowings and all? But that's the beauty of this work. It meets you right where you're at, and it waits for you patiently to love you where you're at, instead of saying, I'll love me when, and I'll love me
Yes.
if. It's
Yes.
helping you remember how to just love.
Yes.
And when
Yes.
that gets being given the opportunity to really be embraced by us, all the other things start opening up. And then you start getting these signs and confirmations on a walk, or you look at a clock, or somebody sends you something, or, these really cool little spaces that you're just like, I'm starting to talk to myself through the universe, through the reflection. I'm starting to confirm this is my alignment. I'm on the right path. And then that keeps opening as we keep opening. It's all interconnected, even bringing ourselves a community that gets us.
Yes.
It's a massive reflection of, we have aligned with a space of ourselves that has enough self-love and self-worth present that can bring itself a community to surrounds it with that reflection of self-love and self-worth coming and going. Does that make sense?
Yes. Yes. And that, where I experienced that, so for example, the C to C's are consciousness to consciousness sessions. I love reading about visuals and feelings. And I mean, there's some really like awesome, awesome stuff. And I would sit here and go, I fell asleep. I don't, did it count? Should I redo? I don't know. Like, and you feel like, am I doing it right or whatever? But talk about meeting me where I'm at. I can tell that I am healing at my pace, and the expansion is happening in parallel with that.
I love
So,
that.
yeah,
That's
it
huge.
not too fast. Although, yeah, I'd love it all today, but I don't think it would stick if it all came today. So, I
No,
think
that's
this
so
is,
important. It's got to be able to land. That's so true. We
yes,
talk about that a lot in Acasma. It's like trying to land a ship at a dock station that is too small. The
yes,
ship, it's not going to come into port. It's just, it can't. It has nowhere to dock. It has nowhere to land. And that's the same thing with experiential spaces in our lives. In order for them to come in and land and dock and show up and connect, we have to have something they can energetically plug into and resonate with. So we're gaining it on our end, and in the process spaces of ourselves, and through implementing and allowing and trusting and leaning in. And then eventually that turns that frequency dial just enough that sends out the note to universe or to the field that says, she's got room now, we can land this thing, let's go
yes,
land it. And then that can continue to expand as well. No, that's really important. Now, I love that you brought up you fall asleep. Or you could, right? I mean, cannot tell you how many people, and I even had to make it part of the course that I taught on it, because I had so many people writing me in the very beginning telling me they were falling asleep, and they were like, I think I missed my session. Oh my gosh. And it was so beyond comprehension for anyone to perceive or conceive that it could still work. The session
mhm,
could still work.
yes,
How, if I fell asleep, how is that possible? But a lot of times, um, yeah, the work is being done at such a deep level. It's quantum. So it's you in the now that you see in the mirror. It's the I you see right here, and Jamelin you see right there. It's the now. But at the same time, it's every other space of us that we've ever been, ever will be, all. So it's quantum energy work. It goes through all the spaces of the being, and through the spaces of connection, the being holds. So now you're getting into the lineages and the ancestral lines. This is why it's an ascension modality. Because when there's an ascension of any consciousness, we have the understanding of unity consciousness. Therefore, if a space of consciousness expands and ascends, all moves to some degree. You cannot take it out and pull it apart. It doesn't work that way. So the falling asleep is about allowing at another level, trusting at another level, leaning in at another level, And then truly, I think as well, experiencing, because I've had most everyone who has fallen asleep has also written me one time or another along the way. And within days of that session where they fell asleep, something big happens. Something happens in their everyday world or their dream state or their meditation state or whatever it is, that they get some type of opening in their con- conceptualization of themselves or the way they look at the world around them. Something moves to a degree to which it is, they can't discount it. And it's usually in alignment with when that space they fell asleep. So let's talk about the C to C briefly, because that's a fun space. Consciousness to consciousness is what we abbreviate C to C, letter C, number 2, letter C. Consciousness to consciousness. We call it that in Acasma Quantum Energy because in a C to C, it's a remote distance energy session where the facilitator, and in this case, it's myself, and you're in a pod, so your leader's holding them for your pod once a month as well. So Janet Kate in that space. The facilitator of Acasma Quantum Energy is facilitating the energy session through the field of consciousness, which is where everything is. So all of the students or the pod members or the clients, however this is playing out for the facilitator, are in that field. And so when we learn a cosmic quantum energy, you learn how to connect in with first yourself in that field and work on and allow the healing and expansion of your own being in connection with the field. And then you learn how to work on and with maybe a family member or a friend or an animal you have, a pet or a plant, or maybe you want to do a client or a student one day. But a C to C is a consciousness to consciousness session of energy work. And it is never the client receiving the energy of the facilitator. That's really cool about Acasma because there's a kind of belief structure in older spaces of energy work in human history where the energy healer is somehow imparting or giving of their own energy to heal the other person or shift the other person. But we started this whole call off, Jamelin, I love using your full name and the connection there, mentioned me being a bridge. And so that's very important in the understanding of the C to C. The facilitator's the bridge. So I'm not giving you my energy. I'm bridging you into your own higher divine flow. It's all you. And then that's that beautiful empowerment available in a cosmic quantum energy to assist that ever expanding space of ascension that is happening, as that I am, that eternal space of the being is rising in the now. So I really love that about Acasma as well. It doesn't drain the facilitator for self-session. And you say, well, if I'm doing a self-session, how am I bridging me into me? Why wouldn't you be able to, right? If you really think about it, wouldn't you be the best bridge ever?
Right.
I'm a great bridge to you, but you're an even better bridge to you
Right.
because it's you. You know how to get to you even faster, right? So I love that about it, and that it meets everybody right where they're at and it moves with you. I think you also sent me an email that I actually, if I'm wrong, please feel free to correct me. I think I replied to you, take more space with the spaces or something. Was that our
So
conversation?
I'll give you your quote exactly because
Oh,
it's right
okay.
here
I
in front
love
of
it.
me. You already have all the answers. Trust yourself. Allow the space. Slow down just a teeny bit. Maybe just allow a little bit more space with each space. And I'm like, oh, mic drop.
I loved that so much. And how powerful, though, because listen, you wrote that as much as I did. If you didn't write me and tell me what you were thinking and feeling, I didn't have the moment to write that back to you. We
Mhm.
created that together. That's what I love about this. Oh, it's just incredibly beautiful and empowering to find these spaces of ourselves and then to find them in each other and to be able to lean in with such trust and joy and zest. And yeah, there's days where we have to pull on those spaces a little harder and we have to remember what's in the toolbox or underneath the belt or whatever words we're using. Absolutely. But those are the glorious spaces of expansion that we've designed so we get to be even more of this.
Yes. Yes. Yeah.
I love that you had that quote. That's just incredible. You are on it. I told you, you are so amazing. I love it. That was one of my favorite moments from our emails. I even copied it and I think I wrote a new book. It's going to be out in a few weeks. It's a shorter version of the book I have right now because the book we have right now is like for the course. So it's pretty big and it's like definitely maybe going to do this, sessions for people and all. So I wanted to come from a more self-healer,
Yes.
smaller, more concise. You just want to get an idea of what Acasma is, some of my personal stories and my own journey of awakening. And I'm pretty sure I included that quote because I loved it so much. And I was like, this is so good for anyone in any space of any navigation, right? To just maybe don't be so hard on yourself and slow down just a little bit, take a little more space with the space. I feel like it was almost like the definition of allow as well, in a
Yes.
sense. Like, so
Right.
I
Yeah,
love
it's
it.
so interesting because it has this whole element to it of if we're not giving the space to the space, then we're in the stand of judgment, which is not a place, it's the opposite of allow. Like it all just
Yeah.
flows together seamlessly. It's really, really beautiful. Yes. And I wrote to you about that because of my experience I had with one of our recordings, the EC2.
Mm,
And at the time, for whatever the reason, I could get through EC1, 3, and 4, but not EC2. And I'm like, is there something wrong with me? Is there something big that needs to heal? And I gave it a little more space and I can listen to it now without having any sort of, so it's so simple, but it's so profound.
yeah,
It's so deep and it's so easy. I don't know.
I
It's,
know. It's
yeah,
crazy. It's crazy, trippy
really.
cool. It's really
It
trippy.
is. And trippy cool. I love the docking. Like there was a point as I am in my journey, as I said, my Acasma fluency is getting better. I would have to mentally be like, okay, Acasma state of mind is docking. Right now we are docking and landed. So, like
I
I
love
had
it.
to I had to like talk myself through that. So
Oh, that's so
but that's
funny.
something I could relate to, like give it something to grab onto, right? Give it a
Yeah.
place to land. But now I'm not as conscious to the, oh, here it comes. So it's more there. It's more
Yeah.
there. So
Yeah.
yeah,
I love that.
yeah,
Yeah. Like a
yeah,
default setting. Like it just
yes.
comes in. Yeah.
hmm
Yeah. I love
Because
that.
my understanding is growing, which I don't know how it works. It's almost alchemy or magic. I don't know. Whatever it is, I hold
Mhm.
space for that. It's beautiful as like we get to know ourselves deeper from the inside out. But that is such a beautiful place to be. Just having that understanding as we unfold
Mm.
and not judging who we are as we unfold is such a gift. And I feel like everybody can benefit from that. It's really, yeah, it's it's a lot. I'm
Mm.
happy to be here.
I'm so happy you're here. I am so happy you're here. So before we close, I want to share a funny space that I think, have a connection with, and we've talked about it before in the pods, maybe the grid. I think there's a lot of people out there that connect with it, though. Um, so we both, correct me if I'm wrong, we loved roller skating when we were a teenager.
Mhm.
So
Yes.
the roller skating rink and the cool skates
Oh,
and
yeah.
the rhythmic skating to the cool songs of the 80s. Uh, so what I do sometimes, this is, nobody knows this one yet. I haven't shared this one yet, but I've been doing this lately. It's so fun. So I imagine you and a few others that I feel probably really hold this alignment with us. They get this space, right? This makes sense to them, the roller skating rink and the roller skating to the music and so forth. So I picture us all together with like 5 or 6 of us in our cool speed skates at the cool skating rink, and they're playing like a really good song. I think it's called Freestyle, maybe, or Egyptian Lover was another one I loved to skate to. And so we're in unison. You know how they skate around the corners. You can TikTok's great. You watch one skating video and you get a whole bunch in your algorithm. Yeah, you've got it, right? And so like I will sit on the couch and I will picture our group and then I will play the song in my head and then we're saying these different terms of Acasma flow and I trust myself and we're leaning in and I'm like remembering that kid. I'm remembering that kid, that girl that just did it because it was so fun
Yeah.
and it just brought her so much joy. And I'm knowing that she's still here, but
Yeah.
she's just got a lot more that she can do now because she's in a space of freedom for making her own choices and her own schedule and what she does with her passion. And I'm, I don't know how to put it. I'm just so in love with the memories of who I've been
Mm.
and the understanding of who I am and the possibility of what I am yet becoming. And I'm just so in love with it all. And I have those moments where I go back and I bring the now into that girl, that space
Mm.
of whatever I was doing, riding my pink comfy bike with my socks that went to my knees and had stripes on them, or I'm breakdancing, or I'm climbing a tree with my brother, or whatever I'm doing that that kid loved to do. And I'm the now me there with that me. Do you ever do that? It's really a beautiful way to bring another level of love to yourself at another space of you and then kind of like just slather that love all over that alignment of your life, you know. But I love meeting people who have similar alignment. I love meeting all people, but to have people who really get those spaces, it's a blessing. It
Mm.
brings you so much joy. And so when you've mentioned different things and others have as well, I think Debbie put a picture of roller skates into the chat one day. Um,
Gloria Vanderbilt James, that's a big one.
Gloria Vanderbilt jeans. Yes. Oh my God. The day I came home from school and my mom had surprised me, had them on my bed, and they came in like 7 colors or something. And I hadn't gotten new clothes for a long time. And I came home that day and mom had every color on my bed.
Oh my gosh. Wow.
It's the best day.
Yes.
Did you wear Jordache?
Yes.
Oh, I love Jordache. I
Mhm.
tried to find them because they used to have where you could the back pocket had like the horse or whatever.
Yes.
I
Uh-huh.
can't like they still have Jordache, but they're not like the same what we
The
had.
same. Yeah.
Yeah. Did
Yeah.
I had these cool sneakers too that the emblem on the side was Velcro and you could pull it off and exchange the colors. So like you could have the different colors. Did you have those or you remember that?
No, no.
Okay. How
But
about
I did have pink Huffy bike number 8.
oh yes, I
Yes, with the
loved my
big fat seat.
big fat
Not the
seat.
banana seat, the big
No,
fat
the
seat.
banana seat was when I was younger, but then the
Yes.
that I got cool. I got the pink Huffy,
Yes.
yeah.
Yes.
And then I got a 10 speed. I didn't like that though. It hurt my
Yes.
butt. Oh my
Yeah.
God, that seat was outrageous. It was like sitting on a bar. It was so hard. The wheels were so thin. I was like, well, I
Yes.
want my pink Huffy back.
Yes. Oh,
So, oh yeah, we have a lot of connection points. And that was fun when we were talking in the class the other day, and we brought in Lassie and the well.
mm,
And I don't remember like Lassie is a bit older than us, I think,
yeah,
but it was still in the you know
absolutely. It was in the
culture. It
mix.
was in the
Yes. Uh-huh.
mix, yeah.
Mhm.
So I love that analogy or illustration or whatever word you want to use because it really fits. Like some days you feel like you're in the well and you're yelling out, Lassie, go get Timmy. So,
Or
you know,
get help. Yeah.
Lassie, go get a Cosma.
Yes. Cosmos state of mind is docking. Hello. Can you dock here? Right here.
Okay, I have to add this and then we'll go because we went
Okay.
over a little bit. But there was the scene in Interstellar. I love Interstellar. Everybody who knows me knows I
Yes.
love Interstellar. And there's the scene where Matthew McConaughey is trying to dock the small ship to the bigger spaceship station. And it's got some things wrong. So he's having to do things that aren't average. And the computer tells him it's not possible. And he says, but it's necessary. So every single time you say that line you just said about a cosmic state of mind docking or whatever, I keep picturing Matthew McConaughey and he's like, but it's
Perfect.
necessary.
Yes. Yes, it is. It is. Absolutely, it is.
So I
Yes.
love that. I love that.
Yeah.
Well, this has been amazing. You have been amazing. I'm so
Thank
grateful
you.
for your presence. I'm so grateful for all of these deep shares that are so confirming and encouraging to me for that which what I'm offering and bringing out to people. It just, just like you guys are like, thank you for creating a space where we can find like-minded people. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for showing up.
Very
I'm
mutual.
I'm so grateful for you. I cannot wait to hug you in person. Super looking forward to that. That'll be here before we know it. And I look forward to all the spaces of us, all the spaces of us. So please keep writing me. Your emails are always a blessing. They're always a gift. I'm always so grateful to receive them. And anyone watching this, if this resonated with you in some way, please share a comment below. Reach out if you'd like to join our community. We have a saying in our group here. We would love to share it with you as we close. So we are light and we are here. Thank you, Jamelin. I am so grateful.
Thank you.
And thank you to all who are watching. We love you. We love you. We love you. Phenomenal. Did you have fun?
I did have fun.
So if you're available in the future, I'd love to have you back.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
All right, Holy One.
I love you.
Blessings on you now. I love you. I love you. I love you. Bye-bye.
Bye.